wizard, what do you see?
Hey guys, welcome back. So today starts my first Halloween video of the month, of the year. I'm so excited. I don't know if you guys know, but I hate Halloween. I hate the month of October. It's just not me. I hate all things scary ever since I was a little girl, like literally. I've obviously grown out of that a little bit. I watch scarier movies now, but still I hate the dark. I hate Halloween. I hate scary things and all that stuff. You guys will be seeing a lot more gory looks as well, but this is the first look that I came up with, kind of like basic, if you will. I don't really know, but I don't really know what I'm calling this either. Stitched and bruised girl, something like that, but I'm really excited. I love the way that this turned out, and yeah, this is a look one of many, and yeah, if you guys want to see how I got this look, then let's go ahead and get started. Hey guys, welcome back. So this is going to be my very first Halloween tutorial of this year. I'm really excited. I have a lot of ideas in mind, so I'm hoping I can get them out to you, and we're just gonna go ahead and jump right into it. Literally, I'm going to take a really light foundation, but this foundation might even be like my exact shade. So I decided to grab my white Snazaroo face paint and kind of like blend it in with it too. You could tell on camera that it is a little bit lighter than my skin tone, but once I blend it in, it is light, but then to me it kind of still looked like my skin tone. So I went ahead and I took my white Snazaroo face paint and I just kind of added some dimension with that. Then I'm grabbing my RCMA No Color powder and I'm just pretty much setting my whole entire face. I skipped concealer because we're going to go over that area anyway with shadow, so I figured why not skip it. So once I put my RCMA powder, I'm going in with the oldie but a goodie Anastasia Contour Kit, and I'm grabbing this shade. I believe it's Java and Fawn. I'm not too sure. I will link the shades down below, but I thought they were more ashier in tone, which they weren't, so once I realized that they were still kind of warm, I just gave myself a little bit more dimension and then just jumped to the eyes. I jump around a lot in this video, so I'm not going to go in like order as I would if I was just doing a regular makeup tutorial. So right here I'm going in with my Anastasia brow palette and I'm grabbing the shade Ebony. It's 2 shades darker than what I would personally fill my brows in, so I'm just pretty much filling them in normally, just with a darker shade. Moving on to the eyes, I'm grabbing my Anastasia Artist Palette. This is seriously my favorite palette. Don't worry if you don't have any of the palettes that I'm using. Anastasia does sell these shadows in single individual pans. I'm grabbing the shade Dusty Rose on this Morphe brush. I will leave all the brushes that I used in this video in the description box. And I'm just messily putting this in my crease. I don't want to be too clean with it because it is a Halloween look, so in my opinion, the more messy, the better. So I'm just blending that all the way into like the side of my nose and then flicking it out towards my tail of my brow. And then I'm going to go in with Buttery from the same palette and make sure it's nice and blended up to the brow bone. Same palette, I'm grabbing the shade Punch Fuchsia, which is a really nice like fuchsia purple with a little bit of specks of shimmer in it. And I'm pretty much just putting that right over top of Dusty Rose. I'm sticking more of that Punch Fuchsia towards that inner part by the sides of my nose more than anything. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab the shade Aubergine. I believe that's how you say it. I probably butchered it. And I'm taking this on a crown brush and I'm pretty much just putting more definition into my crease. If it's as dark as you want it to be, go ahead and skip this step, but I'm also grabbing a little bit of Kohl from that same palette and just adding this on my outer corner for a little bit more depth and definition. And then I'm just going to go back in with my Morphe M505 and make sure everything is blended out. Next, I'm grabbing a concealer and I'm cutting my crease. If you guys want to see how I did this, I do have a video of cut creases. I will link down below in the description box. And I'm pretty much just going to cut this out and make sure my lid is fully covered with concealer. And then I'm going to go in with my Ingot Gel Liner. This is in the number 77. And we're just going to go ahead and do a nice wing. You can totally skip this step or go in with the winged liner, make it as thick or thin as you want it. Once I'm done with that, I'm grabbing this NYX Liquid Liner, and I love the brush on this because it's so thin and so precise. So I'm using the actual NYX liner for that inner part of my eye, but then I'm also grabbing my NYX Liquid Liner, but still with this applicator from the NYX Liquid Liner, and flicking out the end of my wing and making sure my wing is nice and sharp with the NYX liner, but still using the NYX wand, if that makes any sense. Clearly, I'm being a little bit too high maintenance with my liquid liner, but whatever. Moving on, I'm going to give my lashes a quick coat of mascara and then go in with my Samantha Blinking Beauty Lashes. But we're also going to cut that crease with a little bit of glitter. So this is the Eye Candy Cosmetics Glitter in Tiny Tart. And I'm also using the Eye Candy Cosmetics Liquid Sugar to adhere it all together. And honestly, I think this was my favorite part. I think it looks so pretty. And yeah, you could totally skip this step if you want. But then I'm just going to go ahead and apply my lashes. Next, I'm jumping to the lower lash line. I'm grabbing Kohl from the Artist Palette, and I'm pressing this up against my lower lash line with this Luxie brush. It's a nice flat definer brush. It's going to get right in between the lashes. And then I'm just going to go ahead and smoke that out with a punto brush. You could totally go in with Dusty Rose or Aubergine if you want to darken it up. I definitely take a mix of those colors on a Luxie blush and just really make sure I blend it out. And I'm bringing it lower than I normally would, but I feel like that's what kind of pulls in the look together. And then I'm taking Dusty Rose and I'm kind of putting it in like the concave areas of my face to get a little bit of a bruise effect. Jumping to the stitches, I'm grabbing this MAC lip liner in the shade Nightmoth, and I'm pretty much just doing like a dashed line, curved. You can totally go in whatever direction, whichever side of your face, anywhere you want, totally up to you. I'm going in lightly just so I can sketch out and get like that basic shape started, and then I'm going to go back in and darken each stitch. And also in between each stitch, I'm going in the opposite direction. I'm doing an X, all that stuff, where you could see a little bit now closely. It's kind of coming a little bit more together. I'm darkening up each line, and then I'm also lightly taking the lip liner and doing a line on each side so we can get it a little bit more three-dimensional, but I'm making sure the lines on each side is lightly drawn. For each of the stitches that are going the opposite way, I darkened up the line and then added a little line, little circle, whatever you want to call it, to the top and the bottom of the line just to make it look like it's coming out and it's 3D from my skin. And then I'm just going to go ahead and do the exact same thing to the other side, changing the shape, changing the position of it, and going in, making that dashed stitched line, and then going in with opposite direction stitches, darkening them up, drawing the lines on, all that fun stuff. Next, we're going to highlight the areas to make them look even more 3D. You can use face paint or you can use the liquid liner. I'm using the NYX Liquid Liner, and in between where we put those lines on the sides of the stitch, I'm putting a white line so we can get it a little bit more three-dimensional. So we have that initial stitch line, and then we also have the two lines that we drew on both sides of that initial stitch line, so that's where I'm putting the liquid liner. It's a little bit hard to explain, I'm sorry. Now we're going to go ahead and grab any kind of like dark maroon, purpley shadow. This is the shade Hustle. This is from Colourpop. It's a Super Shock shadow. It's a matte. And I'm just grabbing a small detailing brush and kind of just adding some redness, irritation around the stitches. I'm not going like too overly dramatic with it, but I mean the more the better. The more dimension and the more color that you add, it'll look a little bit more bruised. So I'm just going in with this color at first, and then I'm going to go ahead and grab a little bit of Dusty Rose and Aubergine also to the mix of it, and then here I am jumping. I'm going in with Nightmoth on my lips, and I'm going to fill it in, line it up, and then I'm going to go ahead and grab this NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in the shade Copenhagen and put that all over my lips. Once you're done with the lips, we're going to bring this party down to the neck. I'm grabbing the same Colourpop eyeshadow in Hustle, and I'm pretty much just making bruises all over my neck. I'm moving my neck and my shoulders into certain positions so I can get a nice shadow from where my bones are. It's pretty much up to you wherever you want to add the shadow and the shading, go for it. You can add other colors. You can add a black, a blue, anything like that. The more the merrier. If you feel like you were a little bit too heavy, you can go back in with your foundation brush and just go over this. And then we're going to go back in and connect that stitch from the face and drag it all the way down to the neck. I'm doing the exact same thing, sketching it out, darkening up the line, adding the opposite direction stitches, and then also we're going to go ahead and highlight. And once I'm done with the stitch, I'm going back in with Dusty Rose, Aubergine mixed together, and I'm just going to go ahead and add more dimension. I felt like the more dimension and the more bruising and the more discoloration, it just looked better in my opinion. I added a little bit more irritation and redness and depth on the side of the stitches underneath my neck a little bit more, and I just kept on adding until I thought that it looked a little bit better. And then here I am going in with the NYX liner again and making sure those stitches really do pop. And once you've done that, this look is complete. You could totally throw on a wig, make your hair crazy, do whatever you want to do. But this look is complete. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!
Or is it